Welcome to episode 6 of training for the Dragon's Back Race 2025. How are you all doing? In today's video, I'm just going to give a little recap of this previous week's training and very brief overview of what I'm planning to do with regards to my training, and then some information on what the Dragon's Back race actually is. Most of you watching this probably already know, but for those of you that are curious, then it might be some useful information for you. What is the Dragon's Back race? Got some stats to make sure I give you the correct information. Bear with me, I am out walking young Cara, who is hiding there, eating the grass. Any of you have got dogs, you know exactly what that will probably mean tomorrow morning. Right, so the Dragon's Back race, what is it? It gets named the world's toughest mountain race. But why is it called the world's toughest mountain race? Well, it is 236 miles, or if you like to work in kilometers, making it 236 miles in kilometers. It gives you 380 kilometers with an insane amount of elevation. It is 53,800 feet. Again, if you like working in kilometers and meters, that gives you 16,400 meters of ascent. Now, don't panic. Not all done in one day. It's actually split over 6 days. I know, how kind of them. So it starts in North Wales in a town called Conwy. Specifically, it starts in the castle, Conwy Castle, and it finishes down in South Wales, down in Cardiff. Surprise, surprise, in Cardiff Castle. How epic is that, starting and finishing in castles? So it travels down what they call the spine of Wales, down all the mountains, or up all the mountains, or up and down all the mountains, and that is split up over 6 days. Those 6 days are all different distances and have different elevations for each day. Day number 1, I'm just going to disclaim here, I'm not going to try and pronounce some of these Welsh names because I will butcher them and be ridiculed and probably banned from Wales. So day number 1 gives us 49 kilometers or 30.4 miles with a total of 3,800 meters of ascent, which is 12,467 feet of ascent. It's just day number 1. We get to sleep the night. We're going to wake up bright and early to start day number 2, which is just a kind 59 kilometers with only 3,000 meters of ascent. For those of us that like to use miles and feet, that is 36.7 miles with 9,842 feet of elevation. And then once you finish day number 2, once again, get to go to bed. And then when you wake up the following day, day number 3, there's 65 kilometers with 2,800 meters of ascent. I know, it's insane. And in miles and feet, that gives us 40.4 miles and 9,186 feet of elevation. Once again, finish day number 3. Day number 4 is 69 kilometers. Yes, they're getting bigger, with 2,300 meters of ascent plus mileage, guys and gals. That is 42.9 miles with 7,545 feet. Day number 5, probably the biggest day of the event, and arguably the crux for a lot of people, is 71 kilometers. That is 44.1 miles with 3,200 meters, 10,498 feet of ascent, and providing you can survive that, you get to have a relatively easy jaunt down to Cardiff on day number 6 with just a measly 65 kilometers and 1,300 meters, and plus mileages, that is 40.4 miles with 4,265 feet of elevation. So for those of you who are still with me, that is almost the equivalent of going up and down Everest twice. That is insane, over 6 days, with most of that being loaded through days 1 and 5. Originally it used to be a 5-day event, and then in 2021 they introduced day number 6, which allowed everyone to take it all the way down to the bottom of Wales, effectively navigating the whole length, the whole height of Wales, which is pretty cool. Again, over 6 days. It's a pretty epic experience. That gives you a brief overview of what the Dragon's Back race is. I really would advise doing a YouTube search or a bit of a Google search if you want to know more details on it. There is a lot of information out on it, and my description really doesn't do it justice. It's got a great history to it, so definitely worth a little look up if you're interested in it. The recap for the week: I have run on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Mostly easy runs. Wednesday was hill intervals, as you're probably aware. If not, go check out video number 3 for a bit more information on what they were involved. My weekly totals was 40.5 miles, about 65 kilometers, with 4,322 feet, about 1,300 meters of elevation. Now, given the stats I've just given you about the Dragon's Back race, you might be wondering why it was such an easy week. The reality is, at the moment, my focus is on getting some consistency in with my running. Since last year, it's been a little bit all over the place. So the aim is to get the running 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Do that for the next 4 weeks, see how that feels, and if things need to be adjusted, I can adjust from there. These next 3 weeks now, as this week is over, going to be much the same, fairly easy, relatively low mileage, no pressure on the elevation, no pressure on the types of run really. Up here, Carla. No pressure on the types of run, just a case of making sure I get out Monday through Saturday and start blocking in those days with sessions. Once I've got that routine in place, I'll then start focusing on a bit of distance work. So I'll slowly ease that mileage up, making sure I get a recovery week in every 5th week. So that'll be 4 weeks of building, have a recovery week, then build again for 4 weeks. Where it's still early in the plan, I'm not being super strict, so the mileage is a little bit flexible, types of runs are a little bit flexible. You'll have to subscribe to that little ding-a-ling button, as some people call it, you know, the notification button, and you'll get updates and you can follow along with what I do. If you've got any questions about the Dragon's Back race or any questions about my training, feel free to pop them down in the comments. I welcome them all and happy to answer what I can. That is a wrap for this week. I hope you've been enjoying the videos and you've got some insights and useful information out of them. If there's anything specific you'd like me to cover, or if you've got any questions, feel free to pop them down in the comments and I shall do my best to answer them. See you soon. Good girl. I almost forgot to say, don't know how I managed to almost forget it, but Philly smashed out her 100 miler.